Tonight, a candlelight prayer service is being held for the missing 84-year-old as the search to find her enters a fourth day. Police working through the new DNA.
All right. Let me make sure I'm being heard. Let me make sure I'm being heard. You dig? Straight up. Make sure we got everything on point. Let me make sure we got J Dunn. What's good, J Dunn? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Can y'all hear me? I think you guys can hear me okay. What's Yeah, y'all can hear me. Alrighty. I think we good.
Tonight, a candlelight prayer service is being held for the missing 84-year-old as the search to find her enters a fourth day. Police working through the new DNA evidence they have acquired. Brand new 911 calls, meantime, reveal the medical conditions that are putting Nancy Guthrie's health at risk. Listen.
Have you referenced Nancy?
Have y'all heard about this, chat? Let me know if y'all heard about this Nancy Guthrie case right here. Um, she is. Let me see. What's going on? Nancy Guthrie is the mother, I think they said. Yeah, the mother of Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie. Now, let me see. Where is that? NBC Today's co-anchor Savannah Guthrie, right? She's the mother of the television journalist in Today's Show Savannah Guthrie. So apparently she's missing. Have y'all heard about this case? Let us know if y'all heard about it.
A white female, 84 years of age, 5'2" medium build, pineapple blue, things after 2,200 hours as of yesterday.
A possible ransom note was reportedly sent to media outlets demanding millions of dollars in Bitcoin, but police have not yet confirmed its authenticity, saying we are aware of reports circulating about a possible ransom note related to the investigation into Nancy Guthrie. All tips and leads are being taken seriously and are forwarded directly to our detectives, who are coordinating with the FBI. But police are also struggling to answer other questions about this investigation.
Yeah, Danny told me about this story last night, and she said apparently they found a ransom note, but the FBI has not confirmed yet if that ransom note is 100% accurate or not. So this lady is missing right now, 84-year-old lady. She's missing, the mother of Savannah Guthrie from the Today's Show on NBC, and they're still out looking for her right now. All tips and leads are being taken seriously and are forwarded directly to our detectives who are coordinating with the FBI. Yeah, it freezes. Let me see. Somebody said, yeah, it freezes, then continue, then stop, then fix it. It glitches. Okay. All right. Well, we're just going to have to keep going and work with what we have, chat. Let me know if y'all heard about this story.
Any idea what Nancy Guthrie was wearing or the type of car that she might have left from, or any identifiable information that the public could use to help with those tips?
We do not.
Sheriff, do you believe that one or more than one person was involved in the kidnapping?
I just no clue. It could have been one. It could have been more.
For someone
We hope we are. We hope we are.
A former ATF special agent in charge, Bernard.
Yo, it look like they don't have any information right now. Literally, like their hands are tied behind their back with this one. I mean, it's so funny when the press get to asking questions and literally like I'm pretty sure like anytime investigators come up to the stand and they give the briefing, the first thing they say is, "Hey, this is an ongoing investigation, blah 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 blah. We don't have much information. We don't know where she's located, blah blah blah." I'm pretty sure they put it all out there to let you know, but these reporters still ask those questions. They still ask those questions. It's like, bro, they don't have anything yet. They don't know where this lady could be. But it's so funny because I bet you they're gonna wrap this investigation up really quick, just because of who she is. They're gonna wrap it up quick because all of the cameras, and this is in Arizona. I believe it was in Tucson, Arizona. All the cameras and stuff that we have right now, the camera system that we have in America, man, they're gonna find that lady really quick, really, really quick.
Bernard Zapor joins us now. And Bernard, let's pick it up on the ransom note. How will authorities figure out whether this ransom note is real or not?
Well, number one, in fact, if there is in fact a ransom note, because part of the difficulty with an investigation has this scale of notoriety because it's related to a celebrity's family member, is that they're getting so many tips and they're getting them online, they're getting through social media, they're getting so many things that have to be followed up on. They're leaning probably into advanced case management, AI case management, to go through the tips and find commonalities so they're not burning up investigating time on the wrong things. In terms of anything that comes in, something as specific as a ransom note, it's going to have a tell in it that has to match what happened at the scene. And it would have to reveal things.
Yeah, like somebody like her of her stature, it's gonna be a lot of tips coming in, and yeah, they're gonna have to like go through everything, compare and contrast different tips, because people are just gonna be. And you can think about it. Somebody who kidnapped this lady, right? People are gonna be sending in false tips just to throw off investigators. So it's gonna be a long it's gonna be a long one, man. Like I just would never understand like who would kidnap anyone to begin with. Who would kidnap anybody to begin with? But an 84-year-old lady, bro. Like, what are we doing, dude?
Pretty readily that only somebody that was on site would know about, or something about the potential victim.
The ransom note, apparently, according to DMC, did have details about what Nancy Guthrie was wearing and other identifiable information, including a deadline as to when they apparently want this Bitcoin to be sent to them. Do you believe, given that reporting, that this ransom note is authentic?
They will treat it as it is, and they have to run it down for every possibility. They will have the ability to have things in there that give them some type of determination, particularly as they're exploiting more information, including video captures and a number of other technologies out there that will show this. You know, kidnaps in the United States, non-domestic kidnappings are statistically very rare, and so this will always get a tremendous amount of investigative
Wait, is there
attention.
an update? Is there an update? I just saw something. Hold on real quick. Is there an update on this? Let me go here real quick, see if
We've
there's
also
an
got
update.
our retired FBI agent Maureen O'Connell joining us now. Maureen, jump on in here on what you just heard in that news conference. What struck you?
Well, I think there is a lot of work going on behind the scenes. The fact that they can't get into the cameras is actually not that uncommon. I have a business where I put cameras in and we look at cameras and people get cameras installed and then they have no idea how to even access them. They don't practice it. So I heard last night on a podcast that the sheriff
So they saying that hold on, let me see if I
did,
can read
that
this.
he said they're not even.
What is this? I can't really see that, but it says family members dropped Nancy off at her Arizona home Saturday night, 9:30, between 9:30 and 9:45. Early morning Sunday, family alerted Nancy didn't arrive for church on Sunday. And approximately 12 p.m. noon, family calls 911, reports Nancy missing. Monday, approximately 9 a.m., sheriff confirmed criminal activity. Uh, and then around 11 a.m. that morning, family arrives at the home. 9 p.m. that night, sheriff does not rule out foul play. Mm, 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 mm. Wow.
Even sure if the cameras right now are cloud-based, which was pretty surprising. So, but they are going to the companies. The companies
They haven't confirmed or denied the ransom note just yet. Who was that? Ahmad, Ahmed Cunningham. They haven't confirmed or denied it yet. They're not ruling it out, but there's no evidence of a ransom note. There's no evidence yet.
will be able to tell them how it's set up, who has access, and you know whose email address is attached to the account, etc. So there's a lot of stuff like
They don't even have access to the cameras. That's the crazy part. Somebody had to know that those cameras wasn't uh plugged in, wasn't online, hooked up or something. Somebody had to know that those cameras were offline because, and like she said, it's not abnormal for elder people cameras to not be hooked up or on properly or something like that. So it's not like they're not ruling out foul play, but at the same time, not having those cameras at the home is going to be it's going to make this case extremely hard to crack for sure. Because now you got to depend on surveillance cameras on highway cameras or close by neighborhood cameras. That's what you're going to have. But somebody in that neighborhood, depending on where she lives, somebody in that neighborhood is going to have a ring camera. So that's why I believe that this is going to be over quick. They're going to find her quick just based off who she is.
that going on. Also, with the geofencing of the devices, and not just the cell phones, if the offender had on an Apple Watch or anything else, they're going to do. The FBI is doing geofencing the day before the event happened, and at around the same time, and the night that the offense occurred, and then they're going to look for differentiation in there. From that point, they're going to expand out for days or even weeks in advance to see if someone was casing the house or anything along those lines. In my opinion, based on years of experience and looking at this location, this isn't something that someone just happened upon. I would be shocked if that.
Yep, and I just literally said the same thing. Somebody's been watching her. Somebody's been watching her, chat. This ain't something that just happened like, oh shit, this looked like a lick. This looked like a come up right here. Nah, this is planned. This was planned, definitely planned. And that geofencing, she's right about that geofencing. That shit right there is so accurate, man. They're gonna go through, depending on how fast, how many people are on this case, they're gonna go through and they're gonna crack this case quick. I'm telling you right now. That's my prediction. They're gonna crack it quick. It's hard to do this. I mean, everybody talk about the amount of HT human trafficking, going on in the United States and how we can't crack these cases on these children going missing and things of that nature. It just depends on who you are, man, because I definitely believe there's a priority list for sure.
That was in fact the case. I think maybe this person met Nancy and just thought she was lovely, talked to her and realized she was there alone, and who knows what happened from there. So once they expand out at different times of day and or over the, for the past week or so, they may come up with devices that didn't belong in that area or people they should in fact question. But there's just 18 different or maybe 25 different things going on at once right now. And the DNA, the sheriff also said in a podcast he did late last night that they have submitted DNA and they put a rush on it, and that usually takes 5 to 10 days. But that DNA, if it's rapid DNA, and if the offender is not in the system, then they have to go to forensic genetic genealogy, which is a whole nother can of worms, and that is not a quick process.
No, as we saw.
If that DNA is not in the system, if it's not in the system, they're gonna have to go through a whole different process, and that's gonna take a while. Mm. But my money is on they're gonna crack this case really quick. They're gonna crack it, man. This is breaking news. This is everybody is talking about this right now. So that's my guess.
So again, we come back to the question of why do you abduct an 84-year-old woman?
There are a number of reasons for that, and none of them are good. And I'm not going.
I'm anxious to hear these reasons why you would abduct an 84-year-old woman. You abduct the 84-year-old woman. You don't take anything of value. It don't look like a crime scene. Like what's the reason? Please let me know, because my mind can't fathom why anybody would take a 84-year-old woman and hold her for ransom. But the ransom note, which they haven't confirmed yet, but apparently these guys want something. They don't have any evidence of, I mean, they don't have anything pointing towards suspects. They don't have nothing yet. Nothing yet. And this, I'm telling you, I'm guessing that it's going to be cracked quick, but this could take some time if you're dealing with some very smart suspects. If you're dealing with some intelligent suspects, whoo, this could take a while, chat. This could take a while.
Going to extrapolate out on that right now. It's not. It's awful.
Let
the
us
fact
know.
that an 84-year-old woman was ripped from her bed between 1 and 4 a.m. I just cannot even imagine what this family is going through. I mean, it is. This is the worst situation any of us could imagine for a parent that we love.
Hey guys, thank you guys for tuning in and watching. Be sure to get us up to get those likes up. I see we're only at 4 likes. We have 50 people in the chat right now. Get us up to 50 likes, guys, if you can, if you like what you're seeing right now. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Our hearts break for this family and what they must be going through, Maureen, and we understand the emotions behind what you're saying. You've seen a lot. And obviously there are a lot of things that could have played out here, a lot of scenarios that could be happening right now, and it's a tough investigation, and we have very few details right now, which makes this even harder. Maureen, thank you very much. Yes, go ahead.
I was just going to say that question that.
Hey, I definitely agree with Marcus right there. She had a timeline that cooked them. It's a pro job. Nobody. Yeah, it's definitely a pro job, man. Somebody knew exactly what they were doing, man. This is what's happening right now. This is what's going on right now, man. Damn, man.
John proposed is a good one. Why was she removed from the house?
Right.
That is the main question, and there are only a few answers, and none of them are good. There's no reason for them to take her from that home unless it's just the worst possible reason.
Our hearts break for the family. Maureen, thank you very much.
Thank you, Maureen.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe.
Yeah, I mean, what you mean there's no reason to take her from the... There's always a reason, right? Like she said, unless it's the worst possible reason, they're not gonna unalive that woman, man. They're not gonna unalive her. I mean, they want something, right? They didn't take her for no reason, bro. They took her because they want something. They want something, but this is crazy, dog. Just to think that we having shit like this happen in 2026. This is like a movie type. This is like movie type shit that you hear, like you see on a movie, bro. Abducting a senior citizen of stature. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then holding her for ransom. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Let's see. All right, so that was Fox News. Let's see what CBS is saying about it. See if they got anything. That was 10 hours ago. Let's see if we got an update on this story real quick. That was 10 hours ago. Let's see if we can get something updated on this story.
And in Arizona, the search for the mother of Today Show co-host Savannah Guthrie enters its 4th day. Authorities are looking into whether a ransom note sent to a local TV station is real. Police believe 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie was abducted from her home. Our Jonathan Vigliotti joins us now live from Tucson, Arizona. He's covering.
So the note was sent to a local TV station. That's what they're saying.
This story. And Jonathan, I know you've been speaking.
Yeah, I know it's lagging, man. I'm dealing with some hotspot issues right now. I know I'm lagging. But as long as you guys can see the video and you can hear me, then it's gonna just have to be what it be. You feel me? But yeah, I know I'm lagging, but as long as you can hear me, that and see the pictures and stuff, that's fine. She needed Dobermans for protection, at least 2. I hope you're all doing well. Dusty, what's up, Dusty? We're doing well, man. Let's get those likes up, gang. Let's get those likes up. Thank you guys for being here.
With the sheriff leading the investigation about this potential ransom note. How does he view it?
Yeah, Errol, I spoke to the sheriff yesterday. He tells me they received that apparent note on Monday night, quickly handed it over to the FBI, who is currently analyzing it. They have not confirmed its authenticity, but I am told specific details in it warranted showing it to the Guthrie family.
Fingerprints, DNA, camera images, everything you can imagine.
Investigators say they're using every tool to find Nancy Guthrie, the mother of Today Show co-host Savannah Guthrie. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos says the
What did the note say? The county sheriff says possible random note case was pretty threatening. They're not going to tell us what it said? Like, I know that they're not, like, completely confirming it, but at least, can you at least let us know what it said?
FBI is now analyzing an apparent ransom note.
Is there anything in that note that seems credible at this moment that you're giving weight to?
The entire note.
So you're not dismissing this note at this point?
Absolutely not.
He says he shared the note with the Guthrie family the same night he received it.
Of the thousands of tips that you get, you don't show everything.
Well, no, because some of them just don't have any.
This rose to the level.
Sure it does. It's more threatening. You guys asked, was there any threats? This was pretty threatening.
According to Nanos, the note contained details about what the 84-year-old was wearing the night of the crime, but would not confirm its authenticity. It was initially sent to a local news station, who forwarded it to authorities and agreed not to report on it. But yesterday, TMZ was also sent a copy.
TMZ comes out with this note that you have known about, that the Guthries have now seen.
So they just sending notes? They just sending notes to the receiver, but they don't know who the sender is. Like, how is this even possible, man? Somebody got to know something, bro. Somebody has to know something. I don't know, chat. Bro, you lagging like crazy. Yeah, we already know I'm lagging, man. I appreciate everybody that's here right now. Hit that like button, man, on the way in. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. Anyways, we're going to finish up this right here, and then we're going to move on from this case. I just wanted to cover this because it was breaking news. I don't know if you guys heard about this case right here with Nancy Guthrie, the mother of Savannah Guthrie, who is a co-host for the Today Show on NBC.
And it sounds like it could compromise this case to some degree.
It could. I hope not.
The sheriff also says surveillance video from Guthrie's home has led them nowhere so far.
None of the camera images have revealed to us anything of substantive nature. No.
Really? No. Anything?
No, it only goes so far back. And so we're giving it to those camera makers and saying, can you do something more with this?
Tuesday, our cameras captured what appears to be a small amount of blood outside the front door of Guthrie's home. A law enforcement source tells CBS News that a little bit of blood was found inside the home. It's unclear whose blood, but authorities say it's being examined along.
Yeah, that blood probably belonged to Nancy. I'm sure it probably only belongs to Nancy. I'm curious. These guys, these are professionals, man. It seemed like they're professionals. They don't even know. They didn't even take anything from the house. That's the crazy part. They didn't take anything. They wanted her, and they only wanted her, and they went in there and they got her, and they left. She put up a fight. It looked like she tried to put up a fight, but you can't expect the 84-year-old woman to do much damage. So, but it looked like she tried to put up a fight. Definitely on the way out the door, for sure.
With other clues.
The Guthries are very distraught, very concerned. What's important is we find Mom and we bring her back home safe.
And the sheriff tells me Savannah Guthrie and her family have not received any direct threats. He is specifically concerned about the health of Nancy Guthrie, who requires daily medication. All of it was left behind when she was abducted, Errol.
Yeah, all of that so troubling. Jonathan, thank you.
What if you can create?
I mean, can you imagine how the family is feeling though, especially the daughter, right? The daughter is probably just worried for her life now at this point. Like my mother just got taken, literally, like, but she haven't received any threats. And that's another thing that could just linger on your mind too. Like, damn, like my mom just got taken. A ransom note was left allegedly, but no one has reached out to me. That's kind of like scary too, like because you just never know. Like now you just left thinking like, what could I be next? You know what I'm saying? Do they know where I live? You know, it's crazy to just imagine and think about. But anyway, y'all, we're gonna move on here. I want to talk about this real quick. So we're gonna move on to the Washington Post. We just got news this morning that the Washington Post is beginning long expected layoffs, right? So the Washington Post is getting ready to let this just quick insert real quick. So this came in this morning at 6:30 this morning. Um, and we might just go ahead and let the article read it out. It's a 4-minute listen. So we're going to see if this
The
article.
Washington Post begins long-expected layoffs. The Washington Post initiated long-rumored massive layoffs on Wednesday, as the Jeff Bezos-owned media company tries to reposition itself in an industry grappling with declining revenue. The Post's executive editor, Matt Murray, and its chief human resources officer, Wayne Connell, sent a message to employees on Wednesday morning asking them to stay at home for a Zoom meeting announcing significant actions, meaning an announcement of layoffs. The New York Times reported that Murray told staffers there would be a significant staff reduction. Murray said that the sports section would end, as would books coverage, while the Metro coverage would be slimmed down. Also shuttering is the Post Report's daily podcast.
So they said that they called in everybody. They said everybody stay home. We're gonna have a Zoom meeting. So you can imagine waking up in the morning, you getting ready for work, but you get a phone call. Hey, just stay home. We're gonna have a Zoom meeting today about some significant actions happening today. You're like, okay, cool. I get to stay at the house. I get to stay at home, work from home today. Yeah, ain't nothing better than staying at home, working from home. But next thing you know, you hear about some layoffs that are coming, right? And so they said, the Washington Post said that they are getting rid of the sports section, uh, and as well as with books coverage, while the Metro coverage will be slimmed down. So they're slimming down in certain departments from the Washington Post. I don't know how many people that's going to be, but they said significant action. So I'm guessing it's going to be a lot of people being laid off right now. Do y'all think, y'all let me know, chat, do y'all think this is happening because of what's going on with journalists right now? A lot of journalists, like especially with the whole Don Lemon situation, too many journalists doing this, doing that, putting out false information. Do y'all think that the government is trying to crack down on the journalists right now? Just what's happening right now with a lot of journalists putting out false news, fake news, all this stuff, right? You know that this administration is big on fake news. So I don't know if that's the case. Jeff Bezos, I forget who he support anyway, but I didn't know he owned this company. I didn't know Jeff Bezos owned the Washington Post. Anyways, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Do any of you in the chat work for the Washington Post? Let me know. If any of you in the chat work for the Washington Post, let me know if your job is at risk right now.
But the layoffs were widespread. Claire Parker, the Cairo bureau chief, wrote on X that she was laid off along with the entire team of Middle East correspondents and editors. She wrote, "Hard to understand the logic. But I am grateful for my incredible colleagues, whose grit and dedication to the reporting and each other I will miss dearly." In recent weeks, journalists at the Post and past staffers have launched a campaign to try to spare the publication from massive layoffs. Some have written to Bezos directly, including foreign correspondents, seeking to preserve coverage. The Post has seen declining audience in monthly digital traffic, albeit those declines have been relatively widespread across the news media business. The publication also reportedly saw a subscription fall off after Bezos nixed the Post editorial page efforts to endorse Kamala Harris in the 2024 presidential election. Bezos later shifted the strategy of the opinion pages, leading to an exodus of editors and
Hold on real quick. Hold on real quick. Let's go back down there. Let's go back down there right there. That was key right there. That was a key part of that paragraph. The Washington Post has seen declining audience in monthly digital traffic, albeit those declines have been relatively widespread across the news media business. The publication also reportedly saw a subscription fall off after Bezos nixed the Post editorial page efforts to endorse Kamala Harris in the 2024 presidential election. So that gave me my answer right there. I didn't know who he supported. That was one of my initial thoughts was, damn, who do he support? uh, as far as politics, who is he supporting? So I just found that out. Bezos later shifted the strategy of the opinion pages, leading to an exodus of editors and columnists. The Amazon founder said that the opinion content would focus on the defense of two pillars: personal liberties and free markets. There has been some resentment that the cuts are taking place just as Amazon MG, MGM is distributing Melania, the 2-hour documentary that has been savaged by critics as an infomercial for First Lady Melania Trump, with the studio reportedly paying $40 million for the rights and another $35 million for marketing. Bezos is the founder of Amazon and serves as its executive chairman, but he owns the Washington Post as part of his personal portfolio. It says a target of Donald Trump in his first term, Bezos has been among the tech titans who have sought to ingratiate themselves themselves with the president in his second term. Bezos attended Trump's swearing-in ceremony and earlier this week greeted Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth in Florida as part of a visit to the Blue Origin space facility. So anyways, the Washington Post ambition will be sharply diminished, its talent and brave staff will be further depleted, and the public will be denied the ground level, fact-based reporting in our community and around the world that is needed more than ever. All right. So I don't know if any of you guys work for the Washington Post, but they are laying off a lot of people, specifically the sports section, the book section, and another section as well. So that was breaking news this morning, guys. That was breaking news this morning. Anybody in the chat working for the Washington Post? No? I don't think so. So we're gonna move on. Let me see if I had anything concerning the Washington Post in my notes. I'm not too sure if I did or not. Let me see real quick. Let me go to my playlist. Alrighty.
Federal agents in Minneapolis continue to take
We don't want to show this
off the streets the
Let me see here. Let's get into Tom Homan. Tom Homan gave an update this morning. Let me see if I can find that. Here we go. Yeah, Tom Homan, that's the borders czar. He gave an update this morning on what he planned on doing in Minneapolis. So let me go here really quick. We done with that one. So this is what we about to get into on this video right here. Trump's border czar says 700 immigration officers to leave Minnesota immediately. So you guys know that there was over 3,000 federal agents in Minneapolis, right? Maybe, well, in Minnesota, I believe. I don't know if it was just specifically Minneapolis, but I'll just say Minnesota for now. But there were over 3,000 federal agents there, and so they just effective immediately this morning says that 700 immigration officers will be leaving Minneapolis. Guys, that leaves 2,300, like roughly 2,300 agents still on ground in Minneapolis. So it's not what is that? That's like freaking, I don't know. That's not even 10% of the you know what I'm saying? Like that's just not, I don't know. It's not that many agents leaving. But anyway, we're gonna see what Tom Homan had to say about the updates this morning.
Okay, just one real quick last audio check. We are looking at going, having this begin right on time at 8 o'clock. So, all right, we're good? All right.
Here he goes. This is the border czar, Tom Homan himself.
Good morning.
I will say, man, you got to tip your hat off to Tom Homan. He came in, and after, what's his name? Bavino. After Greg Bavino was released of his duties, right? Relieved of his duties, Tom Homan stepped in and put foot on the ground, and he got right to business. So he's definitely been putting his foot down since he landed in Minneapolis.
I'm Tom Homan. I'm the board czar of President Trump. I'm here with Sam Olson, Field Office Director for the St. Paul office, and Ron Patello, Senior Advisor to the Commissioner of Customs and Border Protection, Border Patrol. Us three guys got just shy of 100 years in law enforcement, immigration enforcement. I worked with Ron 30 years ago in Dallas, Texas. He's been with the Border Patrol's entire career. During my press conference last week, I reported I had productive discussions with various state and local officials, including Governor, Attorney General Mayor Fry, and law enforcement officials about increasing coordination in a lawful way between the county jails and ICE to avoid public safety threats being released back in the community. While we had our differences, one thing was clear: we all committed to public safety for all who live in the Twin Cities. We have made significant progress under the direction of President Trump, working with state and local officials here in Minnesota, and I expect that to increase in the coming weeks. We continue to have discussions. I'll have discussions this afternoon. We currently have an unprecedented number of counties communicating with us now and allowing ICE to take custody of illegal aliens before they hit the streets. Unprecedented cooperation.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all, chat. I still don't quite understand why Minnesota is such a focal point. I still don't understand that to this day, being that they are one of the states with the fewest amount of immigrants in their state. But I still don't get why Minnesota is the big focus. Now, I know a lot of people might talk about, oh, the Somalian scam and all that stuff, what happened in the government, the local government with the Somalian, they were stealing from they were stealing money and stuff like that. But does that require 3,000 agents though? Like, do that really require 3,000 agents to go into Minnesota alone, being that they have one of the fewest amount of immigrants? Y'all let me know in the chat.
And I'll say it again. This is efficient, requires only 1 or 2 officers to assume custody of a criminal alien target rather than 8 or 10 officers going into the community and arresting that public safety threat. This frees up more officers to arrest or remove criminal aliens. More officers taking custody of criminal aliens directly from the jails means less officers on the street doing criminal operations. This is smart law enforcement, not less law enforcement. It's safer for the community, safer for the officers, and safer for the alien. This coordination also makes it far more safe for the Twin Cities. Arresting a public safety threat in the safety and security of a jail is the safest thing we could do. Further, less public safety risks are being released back into the communities, reduces recidivism, so local law enforcement can direct their limited resources to other public safety matters in their community. This is another priority of President Trump. The state prisons already cooperate with ICE on this coordinated transfer of custody, and we thank them for that partnership, and we plan to do more with them. I also want to reiterate and emphasize we are not requiring jails to hold people past their normal release time for immigration purposes. We're not asking anyone to be an immigration officer. We are not asking any state or local official to do immigration enforcement activity. They are not. By merely notifying us before they release them, they don't hold them 1 minute past they normally would. Given this increase in unprecedented,
I don't think they're gonna cooperate. That's just me. I don't think they're gonna cooperate. I think it's gonna be, and I think that's probably gonna prolong the process for immigration being in Minnesota. It's gonna continue to prolong. They're gonna stay there for a while because the local and state government is not going to cooperate. They're not gonna notify ICE once they release these criminals, right, back onto the street after they do their time in jail. They're not going to notify them, man. That's an extra step into their task that they're not going to get paid for. Even though it don't take that much to notify them, I'm sure there's a way to do it, but I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe they will. Maybe they want to. Maybe they. I don't even know if the local and state government trust the federal government. I don't even know because if you watch the first interview and the meeting that he had with Tim Walz and the mayor, after they departed, the mayor had some words to say. He had a lot of things. They disagreed on a lot of things. The mayor definitely said his piece, and Tim Walz most definitely said his piece. So that's why I think ICE agents are going to remain in Minnesota probably for the remainder of 2026. Y'all let me know how long y'all think they're going to stay there.
collaboration, and as a result of the need for less law enforcement officers to do this work in a safer environment, I have announced effective immediately we will draw down 700 people effective today.
He said they're arresting criminals. Yep, serial rapists and murderers. They are. They will never cooperate and let out on bail to commit more crimes. Waltz and Frey are idiots. All opinions are welcome here. All opinions are welcome here. Hit that like button while y'all in here, man. Thank y'all for tuning in.
700 law enforcement personnel. We have also fully integrated CBP personnel. I have announced effective immediately we will draw down 700 people effective today. 700 law enforcement personnel. We have also fully integrated CBP personnel into the ICRO team structure under one unified chain of command. Not two chains of command. There'd be one chain of command here. Any large enforcement operation I've ever been involved with, there's one chain of command, and that's where we're moving forward.
Oh, y'all heard that. Y'all heard that. Two different entities, CPB and Immigration, Custom and Enforcement. Two different entities, one chain of command. Effective immediately. Right there. You heard it here first. Just right here. And I broke down last week how the two entities or the two agencies differ from each other, right? CPB, because at first when I was looking at everything happening in Minnesota, I was like, why in the hell? Why in the hell is Border Patrol here? I don't understand. Like, aren't there like they're supposed to be guarding like the border, right? The perimeter. But when you look at Minnesota, right, and how close it is to the border, it kind of makes sense in a way. So you just gotta think about it like that.
During my press conference last week, I announced that moving forward, ICE will be conducting targeted immigration enforcement operations, like ICE has traditionally done for decades, based on reasonable suspicion to question and detain. ICE will conduct these operations and transnational criminal organization investigations with a focus on national security and public safety. I want to be clear. Just because you prioritize public safety threats don't mean we forget about everybody else.
Somebody said they can do their job still with 700 less agents on the ground. That's facts, Dennis. I agree. I agree with that. You can't go anywhere in Minnesota without seeing immigrants everywhere. I'm in Minnesota right now. I'm in Minnesota right now. But look though, there's nothing wrong with immigrants. So make sure you're saying that the right way. Maybe you meant illegal immigrants, because when you say immigrants, now you're boxing everybody, you're putting everybody in the same box. So I don't know if you have a problem with legal and illegal immigrants. You let me know. Mr. You can't handle the truth. Do you have a problem with legal and illegal immigrants, or are you speaking specifically about illegal immigrants? You let me know. Trump ass needs to go, says Moeller. Why the camera so slow? The camera's so slow because I'm having hotspot issues. I apologize for that. But if you can hear me, let me know in the chat if you can hear me okay. But I am having hotspot issues right now. Sorry about that. I do apologize. Thank you for hitting the like button, though.
Else. We will continue to enforce the immigration laws in this country. To help execute this, we have developed and implemented a multi-agency surge task force with an operational framework that clarifies lines of effort, integrated enforcement, investigative and special response efforts. A unified joint operations center has been established to manage all operations and ensure efforts align with priorities of the mission. This reorganization also enables ICE to leverage joint intelligence capabilities to effectively target threats, as well as to reduce the overall personnel footprint and enhance public safety and confidence in the agency's capabilities and presence here.
All right, guys, we got
I've
the gist.
also ensured that officials from legal internal affairs offices remain on the ground as long as this operation continues.
We got the gist of what he's saying, but I do want to see if he at least hint toward how long they plan on staying in Minnesota. I want to see if he hint towards that.
During our efforts to identify and implement improvements of how operations are planned, conducted, and managed, we identified a gap in regard to the use of body-worn cameras. And this was actually raised by the workforce when I started walking around talking to people here.
Okay. Hotspot, speaking about immigrants in general, they're all over Minnesota. Oh, okay. 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 Yeah. I mean, immigrants are all over the United States, man. Not just Minnesota. In fact, they have one of the lowest, fewest immigrant counts in the United States. That's facts. Go look it up.
Some officers and agents had them, some didn't. That inconsistency was unacceptable, so we moved immediately to prioritize full body cam deployment in the city. I discussed this with Secretary Noem a couple of days ago, and she made the decision to deploy them. The plan is to deploy them nationwide, but it's a priority for the city right now.
You heard it. You heard it right here. He talked with Kristi Noem the other day, and they have a plan to deploy these agents nationwide. That's the plan. 2026 is going to be crazy, chat. It's about to be crazy, chat. But they have a plan to deploy it. But it's going to be so crazy because just what they're doing in Minnesota alone is sparking protests across the nation. So can you imagine when they really branch out and keep going for the rest of this year? It's about to be 2026 is about to be a wild ride, chat. It's about to be a wild ride. I don't believe that. Hey, you don't have to believe it. You don't have to believe it, but you can look it up though. Go look it up and then come back and say, yeah, you were right. You were right. But go look it up and do the research for yourself. Don't just say you don't believe it. Just say you need to confirm if that's true. That's a better way to say it. Don't believe it just because you don't want to believe it.
There's actually $20 million in the spending bill to further fund the deployment of body cameras. The president is supportive of this decision because we have nothing to hide.
Wait, did he say 20 billion or 20 million? Let me go back. Did he say 20 billion or 20 million?
Body cameras.
Hold on.
The president is supportive of this decision, but it's a priority for the city right now. There's actually $20 million in the spending bill.
Okay, 20 million. 20 million on body cameras, bro? Yo, what the fuck? 20 million on body cameras? How many federal? Well, I don't really know how many Border Patrol agents and ICE agents are out there, but 20 million on body cameras sounds excessive, though. Ugh. I'm just saying. I mean, it could be right. I mean, they could be getting the most advanced body cameras that they need, right? I'm talking about those advanced cameras. I don't know. 20 million on body cameras is crazy.
To further fund the deployment of body cameras. The president is supportive of this.
Let me go in the chat real quick. Tom served 7 presidents, and he is still great. He definitely did. He definitely did. If Trump is as, then Obama, Bush, Clinton are as also. I just looked it up. Minnesota is not at the low end at all. Why you just sit there and tell that lie? I didn't just sit there. What did you look it up? You did a quick Google search, bro? What are we talking about? Which part are you talking about? I'm talking about illegal immigrants. Illegal immigrants. Minnesota has one of the fewest counts of illegal immigrants out of all the states. So make sure you specify what you're looking up. Just wish everyone got along. Are you critical thinker? Use facts over feelings? Okay. I don't know who you're talking about.
Decision, because we have nothing to hide. We want to be fully transparent in what we do. The American people seek and deserve professional and trustworthy law enforcement, and I and the president expect that any misconduct will not be tolerated and will be swiftly addressed. The integration, structuring, and resources we have implemented will help ensure accountability and that targeted enforcement operations have a focus on national security threats and public safety threats.
All right. I don't think he's going to really tell us like how long they plan to stay in Minnesota. I don't know. But we got the gist of what he's talking about. He's basically going over protocol of what they expect. All right. They got 700 agents out of Minnesota already, right? They got them out. And so that was the breaking news this morning real quick. Let me see exactly where we're going to go at this point. Here we go. All right. Let's see what they're talking about. Because they got some news this morning. Let's see what the chat talking about. Here. It said, I am a critical thinker, blah, 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 blah. You literally said immigrants. Immigrants? Illegal immigrants or legal immigrants? I just specified to you that I was talking about illegal immigrants. Okay, I said immigrants because you said immigrants. But what I meant to say was illegal immigrants. Illegal immigrants. All right? But it don't matter. It don't matter because guess what? If they're legal, then they have a right to be here. ICE is in Minnesota because of illegal immigrants. That's why they're there. They're not there for immigrants per se. They're there for illegal immigrants. You should put 2 and 2 together. That's you. Use your brain. Use your brain. Damn. Why you gotta be so stupid? Anyways, Google, that's hilarious. Blah, blah, blah. He clarified more than once between illegal and illegal immigrants. Blah, blah, blah. Homan, here we go. All right, bro. If you're going to be an antagonizer, I'm going to get your ass out my chat. You better go read my description. You better go fucking read my description and understand who the fuck I am. I will get your ass gone. Understand that. Use your brain. Use your fucking brain. Anyways, let's get into this, what they're talking about right here. Let's get into this one right here. Which one is this one? This one is Speaker Johnson warns what would be a fool errands after the House passes the funding bill. So they just passed the bill this morning. Was it this morning or last night? It could have been this morning to make sure that the government don't shut down. And look, Donald Trump definitely didn't need another government shutdown underneath his belt. That was one of the things he said before he became president was he wanted to avoid government shutdowns. So let's see what's going on right here with this new bill signing.
Fox News Alert, Speaker Mike Johnson is now speaking live at the House as the House has passed the funding bill. He's live on Capitol Hill now. Let's dip in. He's taking questions.
Do you really think that they can work out something in such a short time period? That's not much time.
I do. I mean, if everyone comes to the table in good faith, I'll tell you what we are not going to do. We're not going to work towards some sort of amnesty program or something. Some Democrats have whispered that that's what they would be about. We are not going to impede the enforcement of federal immigration law. We can't do that. We have to apprehend these dangerous criminals. We have convicted murderers and rapists and child molesters in cities across America, and we have Immigrations and Customs Enforcement for a reason. These agents, these officers are doing heroic work trying to keep our communities safe, and it's unconscionable to us that you would have Democrat mayors and governors trying to impede that work, encouraging their citizens to get in the way, and that's what's created these dangerous environments.
That kind of rhetoric right there really suggests that United States citizens don't have a brain for themselves, right? I really dislike when people like they go online or they go on the TV and they say like the local and state government is encouraging citizens to do these things. No, the fuck they're not. Yo, social media has opened up the door for people to see things now that they used to didn't see years and years ago. Right? People can see things. People have their own eyes. They can come up with their own opinions now. They can generate their own opinions and see. They have eyes to see. So I don't really like when they suggest that government officials are encouraging people or motivating people to get out there and impede law enforcement, get out there and protest. No, these people are organizing themselves. These people are going out and they have brains to think. They don't need nobody to think for them. That shit kills me sometimes. They act like we just stupid. Like people just can't make their own opinions or their own decisions.
How can you do that parliamentarily? How can you do that politically?
Well, it's up to the will of the people in the building, and I hope that they'll come forward again in good faith to work this out. Listen, they made a list of requests or demands last week. Leader Schumer made that public, and I will tell you that Tom Homan is in charge in Minnesota now, and he's already bringing about many of those changes. They are wanting to make sure that immigration enforcement is done safely and smartly and efficiently. And that's what you're going to get. It's going to be balanced. It's going to be a balanced approach. Of the demands that were made, the requests that were made, many of those are already being implemented. You notice that that they're going to have the body cameras. We put $20 million additional dollars in this legislation that they're holding up right now to pay for more body cameras. But Secretary Noem came out yesterday, as you saw, and announced that this would be the new policy. These are good things. The roving patrol.
Why the hell do these law enforcement officers, federal agents, don't have body cameras in the first place? That you got regular police officers that are required to have body cameras, and you know if you're gonna deploy federal agents into urban cities, who y'all didn't think to put body cameras on these federal agents initially, bro? Come on, bro. Now all of a sudden it take people being unalived and civil unrest, like all this type of stuff. It take all this stuff to happen for them to actually come up with the idea, oh, we need body cameras. No, y'all should have been had that from the jump, bro.
Will be modified. There are a lot of things that I think were thoughtful suggestions that would have already been implemented by.
Let me see what they're talking about in the chat right now, man. ICE is in Minnesota because of Tim Walz. I'm afraid political retribution. F ICE, good haircut. Blah blah blah. Fox News, Fox 9 be lying all the time. Well said. They have brains to think. They don't need people to think for them. Facts. Y'all already know what it is, man. They treat the citizens like we robots or something. Like we just operate like we're puppets. And they're the puppet masters.
Mr. Homan and others who are in charge of all this. And so I think we can get to an agreement. I certainly hope that's true. And if they have any intention of trying to keep these other agencies of government closed, it will be a fool's errand. And remember, we did front load the funding for Immigrations Customs Enforcement and CBP in the big, beautiful bill. So they have enough funding to go for the next few years. So what they will be tying up if the Democrats choose to close the government is these very essential services for everything else: FEMA, Coast Guard, TSA, and other aspects of national security. So it's a very dangerous game that they're playing. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Speaker. So will Republican members in the House support those changes, and do they need assurance?
Let me see what's happening right now. All right, so yeah, we just went into that, guys. Federal agents, we just went into that. We won't go ahead and close that out right there. Anybody in New York right now? Chat. Let me know if anybody's in New York right now or New Jersey. Anybody in the chat in New York or New Jersey? Y'all let me know. Anyway, New York and New Jersey sue Trump administration over $16 billion funding freeze for the Hudson River tunnels. So here's a picture of the Hudson River tunnels. Apparently this is supposed to have been updated, or the construction site is supposed to have been worked on in September of last year, and they had to pause the funding because of the government shutdown. And so now that everything's opened back up, Donald Trump is saying that he continued to freeze these funding because of DEI issues. And I'm just starting to think, like, how does that make sense? I don't know. But these people are saying that this river tunnel needs to be opened up, like it's going to help out the economy. I don't know if anybody in the chat is living in New Jersey or the Manhattan area right there in Jersey City. But are you seeing this bridge right here? Could it actually help the commute to and fro from those two states? Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know in the chat. But New York and New Jersey sued Donald Trump administration on Tuesday for freezing $600 billion federal funding for a new rail tunnel under the Hudson River between two states, seeking a quick ruling between construction that has been underway could be forced to shut down as early as Friday. The administration put a hold on the funding in September, citing the government shutdown. The White House Budget Director Russ Vought said on the social media platform X at the time that officials believed the spending was based on unconstitutional diversity, equity, and inclusion principles. So was it the shutdown? Was it the government shutdown? The reason why they paused the funding, or was it was it DEI? DEI principles, bro. For a bridge, for a tunnel, bro. Yo, y'all can't make this shit up, bro. Y'all cannot make this shit up. And the U.S. Department of Transportation, DOT, said it was reviewing any constitutional practices. Wow. That's how you pause. That's how you come up with some bullshit in order to pause some money that you might want to use toward sending money overseas or some bullshit. You said, nah, that fucking tunnel ain't no priority right now. We ain't worried about that. We need those funds to send to Israel somewhere. We need these funds to send overseas somewhere, to Argentina or somewhere. I don't know, chat. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this. The lawsuit filed in federal court in Manhattan by New York Attorney General Letitia James. It might have to do with Letitia James, because y'all know Donald Trump hate her guts, dog. Y'all, he don't like the new mayor of New York. He don't like the new mayor, and he don't like fucking Letitia James at all. And I'm not even sure if he liked Jennifer Davenport, to be honest with y'all. I don't know. But this is crazy, bro. Anyways, the lawsuit filed in federal court in Manhattan by New York Attorney General Letitia James and New York Acting Attorney General Jennifer Davenport asked a judge to declare the funding suspension unlawful and order payments to resume immediately so construction can continue without interruptions. So they're trying to get that thing taken care of. Allowing this project to stop would put one of the country's most heavily used transit corridors at risk, Letitia James said in a statement Tuesday evening. Our tunnels are already under strain, and losing this project could be disastrous for commuters, workers, and our regional economy. Okay, so they're really pushing for that tunnel to get the fundings back. I don't know if anybody said anything about this in the chat yet. Nobody's really caring about this right now. But that's breaking news, guys. We got to put the news out there. The White House in the United States DOT did not immediately return emails seeking comments Tuesday night. I told y'all, because it is not a priority. A similar lawsuit over the tunnel funding was filed Monday against the federal government by the Gateway Development Commission, a local panel overseeing the project. So they also filed a similar lawsuit. So they got two lawsuits filed against them. The construction project calls for building a new rail tunnel under the river to carry Amtrak and area transit trains between New Jersey and New York City, as well as repairing an existing 116-year-old rail tunnel that was damaged by Superstorm Sandy in 2012. Work began in 2023. The project is funded by the 2021 federal infrastructure law signed by Democrat President Joe Biden. And that's probably why Donald Trump don't want to carry out anything that Joe Biden was doing. And that's probably why he brushing that shit off. He like, nah, it's not a priority. I'm not worried about it. They'll be all right. They'll be all right. But he's gonna have to release those funding if that lawsuit goes through. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Alrighty. Let's see here. So we go ahead and get up out of here. All right.
And I and the President expect that any misconduct will not be tolerated.
Is the FBI Director Kash Patel. Mr. Director, thanks for being here.
Great to be with you, Brett.
Kash Patel, man, I swear that don't ever do your eyes like that again, Kash Patel. Yo, bro. I honestly don't know how he the FBI director. I can't lie, bro. When y'all see him on C-SPAN or somewhere on those panels, in the U.S. Senate or somewhere, man, yo, they be having him so confused sometimes. Not even confused, but just like, bro, just tell the truth, bro. Like literally, bro. When you don't answer the question, bro, you're answering the question when you don't answer the question. That's crazy.
I want to talk about those stats. I want to talk about all of the efforts that you're doing. I'd like to do a lightning round of other topics that we're covering.
Absolutely.
First of all, we just heard that report out of Arizona about Nancy Guthrie. You all are involved in that case. Is that correct?
Yeah. Brett, with any missing persons, what you want to do is what the sheriff said, find them and put all law enforcement on that X. And the sheriff and the state and local authorities are leading that effort, and the FBI has provided all resources requested and will continue to do so.
There was a report today that TMZ received a ransom note. Are you aware of that? Or
the local authorities notified the FBI of it, and we are working with them in any manner they choose. But remember, they're the lead right now, and we have to respect that, but we are there to help them in any way we can, on ransom notes or otherwise.
Yeah, the sheriff got to, we believe she was taken.
FBI is only providing the tech support. That's it. They're only providing the tech support that the sheriff office is lacking. That's it. They letting the sheriff office is leading in that case of Nancy Guthrie, the mother of Savannah Guthrie, from the NBC news anchor. She's the co-anchor.
From the home, and you're assisting them in their efforts.
Absolutely. We're on the ground there with them.
Okay, I want to talk to something that raised some eyebrows, and that's the FBI in this Fulton County election case and taking ballots from that office down there. Can you tell us about that, paint the picture about what that is about?
Absolutely. Look, from the FBI perspective and our partners at DOJ, we did the same thing there we do in any criminal case or investigation. We collected evidence. We presented that evidence to a federal magistrate judge who made a finding of probable cause and said, here's your search warrant, here are the parameters of that search warrant. And what you saw play out last week was the execution of that search warrant, just like we would do anywhere else. The target of that search warrant was a warehouse down in Fulton County. Federal agents from the FBI went down there and followed the parameters of the search warrant and secured the evidence. And from there, we maintain the chain of custody and do what we always do, which is to follow the evidence.
But the probable cause is that there was a crime in the election tabulation.
So the probable cause is still in the search warrant, which is under seal, so I'm not able to discuss
All right,
that.
but let me talk about this other element of it, and that is the Director of National Intelligence told.
All right, so that's what Fox News is reporting about that. But let me see if I can find something else in return in regards to the Fulton County. Yo, they still talking about these 2020 elections right now. And I honestly think, and it's just my opinion, but I honestly think that Republicans are really pushing towards this, man, or just to bring some, just because of the 2026 midterms that are coming up. How is this coming back up? How is this still a thing? So let me see real quick. So yeah, this is the Fulton County files motion seeking return of seized 2020 ballot, spokesperson say. So they still trying to get this stuff. Let me see if I can find some factual information on this real quick. Or actually, let me see. Damn, the Washington Post says something on this. Let me see what they're talking about. That's the left. So we definitely want to get both sides. Let me see what the left is talking about. Fulton County goes to court to demand return of the ballot seized by the FBI. They're going to let me read it? No, they're not going to let me read it. Of course they're not. So let me see if I can find another. I think, yeah, here we go right here. Here's another source for that. This is a highly factual source right here. All right, see what they're saying about the Fulton County challenges FBI election record seizures. Fulton County in Georgia has initiated a legal challenge against the FBI seizure of election records from a facility aiming for their return and unsealing of related affidavits. This development is part of ongoing efforts surrounding allegations of election fraud linked to Donald Trump's 2020 election defeat. It say Georgia Fulton County has filed a legal challenge seeking the return of election records seized by the FBI, questioning the legality of the search and warrant. The FBI investigation is connected to false claims by President Donald Trump that the 2020 election was marred by widespread voting fraud. Mm, 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 mm. Yo, they still talking about this. Like, I feel like this is a waste of time, bro. Like, move on. Like, why is this being discussed right now in 2026? Why are we even worried about what happened? They already proved that it was nothing going on in that election, bro. Just move on. Like, bro, you are the president right now. Like, that's why I said, bro, they bringing this back up because of the midterms. I just don't get it, bro. They're trying to sway voters. The county is asking a federal court to restrict the scope of the warrant to enable a forensic audit on the documents. Fulton County Commissioner Marvin Arrington Jr. expressed concerns over possible data loss or record tampering due to the lack of proper inventory management during the seizure. The FBI recent search at the Fulton County Election Hub and Operations Center aimed at gathering items related to the 2020 election results. This action precedes the upcoming midterm election, where Republicans are focused on maintaining congressional control. Lord have mercy, bro. Lord have mercy, bro. Like, how is this still a thing, bro? How is this thing still going on? Eating me a breakfast bowl right now. So much stuff going on in the world. That's fact. What's up, Lee? What's going on, man? It's a lot of stuff going on in the world, man. But we got to make sure we're paying, especially if we're here in the United States, we got to make sure we're paying attention to what's going on here and what else is going on abroad, where we have our hands on.
Tulsi Gabbard. New York Times writes this: Mrs. Gabbard used her cell phone to call President Trump, who did not initially pick up and then called back shortly after. The president addressed the agents, the FBI agents, on the speakerphone, asking them questions as well as praising and thanking them for their work on the inquiry. One U.S. official said the president gave no substantive direction to the investigators. Unusual for a president to get involved on the agent level. Paint the picture there.
Sure. The one thing I think that many, if not every FBI agent and personnel and law enforcement across the country love about this president is that he backs them. He backs the blue, he gives them resources, and he's always congratulatory of their efforts. And so to hear from the commander-in-chief for my troops on the ground there was a pretty cool thing. And we were pleased to hear the president come in and say, thank you for what you're doing. That is maybe unusual from prior administrations, but I take it every chance I get to thank the men and women in law enforcement.
And Director Gabbard put out a statement saying that she accompanied the FBI Deputy Director Bailey and the acting special agent down there to oversee this search warrant. But doesn't it suggest that there is some international element to this?
All I can speak to is the FBI and the DOJ, and what we are doing is following the predicate laid out in the search warrant, and we are executing that. And President Trump has assembled a tremendous cabinet, the DNI and everyone else, and we collect information from our interagency when the investigation follows that path. And so we're happy to have a team of professionals involved.
Bouncing around.
Yo, at the FBI, are y'all bored right now? Like, y'all don't have a lot of work to do right now or something? I just don't get it, bro. I really don't get it. I don't understand what they're trying to find here. Like, you're not gonna find anything. I don't understand. Like, it's a waste of time, chat. Literally a waste of time. They're not gonna find anything here in Fulton County. Nothing. Nothing at all. Chat, nothing at all. I don't even want to cover this anymore. It's just like a waste of time. Anyways, Trump accused of distorting history of Mexican-American war to justify heavy hand in Latin America. So the Associated Press has covered this story. Ground News said this was one of the more highly factual um, posting out of all the postings, right? So all of the evidence that they put together, everything they put together, the Associated Press, much as people don't really like it, they were one of the most highly factual in terms of this story right here. So we're going to read it anyway. President Donald Trump listened to questions from a reporter as he speaks in the Oval Office, White House, Monday, February 2nd, 2026. So historians and observers accuse the Trump administration of trying to rewrite American history to justify its own foreign policy decisions towards Latin America by posting a historically inaccurate version of the Mexican-American War. The Monday statement from the White House commemorating the anniversary of the war described the conflict as a legendary victory that secured the American Southwest, reasserted American sovereignty, and expanded the promise of American independence across our majestic continent. The statement drew parallels between the period in the United States history and its own increasingly aggressive policies toward Latin America, which it said would ensure the hemisphere remains safe. It says, guided by our victory on the fields of Mexico 178 years ago, I have spared no effort in defending our southern borders against invasion, upholding the rule of law, and protecting our homeland from forces of evil, violence, and destruction, the statement said, though it was unsigned. In the Post, the White House makes no mention of the key role slavery played in the war and glorifies the wider Manifest Destiny period, which resulted in the displacement of hundreds of thousands of Native Americans from their land. So this sparked criticism right here. Alexander Avena, Latin American history professor at Arizona State University, said the White House statement underplays the massive amount of violence uh, that it took to expand the U.S. to the Pacific shore at a time when the Trump administration has stuck its hand in Latin American affairs in a way not seen in decades, disposing Venezuela president, meddling in elections, and threatening military actions in Mexico and other countries. He also go on to say U.S. political leaders since then have seen this as an ugly aspect of U.S. history. This is a pretty clear instance of U.S. imperialism against its southern neighbors, Avena said. The Trump administration is actually embracing this as a positive in the U.S. history and framing it inaccurately historically as some sort of defensive measure to prevent the Mexico from invading them. Mm, 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 mm. So on Tuesday, criticism of the White House statement quickly rippled across social media. Mexican president was asked about the statement in her morning news briefing. Let's see what she said. She says, "We have to defend sovereignty." She has walked a tightrope with the Trump administration, has responded to Trump with a balanced tone and occasionally with sarcasm, like when Trump changed the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. I wonder what she said. What's going on, chat? How y'all doing today? Y'all don't like this reading part, do you? Anyways, here's a historical sticking point. The Mexican-American War, 1846 to 1848, was triggered by a long-running border dispute between the U.S. and Mexico and the United States annexation of Texas in 1845. For years leading up to the war, Americans had gradually moved into the then Mexico territory. Mexico had banned slavery, and U.S. abolitionists feared the U.S. land grab was in part an attempt to add slave states. After fighting broke out, and successive U.S. victories, Mexico ceded more than 525,000 square miles of territory, including what now comprises Arizona, California, Western Colorado, Nevada, New Mexico, Texas, and Utah, to the United States. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 territories was given up during the Mexican-American War. Mexico-American War. The moment turned Texas into a key chess piece during the United States Civil War and led former President, uh, damn how you say his name, I forget how to say his name, President Grant, to write later that the conflict with Mexico was one of the most unjust ever waged by a stronger against a weaker nation. The AP was formed when 5 New York City newspapers funded a Pony Express route through Alabama to bring news of the Mexican War, as it is sometimes known as the U.S. North, faster than the U.S. Post Office could deliver it. Anyways, the war continues to be a historical sticking point between the two countries. Blah, 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 blah. So he received credit, rewriting history, blah, 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 blah. So if y'all want to read up on that, y'all can go to the Associated Press and read up on what they're saying right now about what Trump is doing. They believe that he's trying to distort the history of the Mexican-American War. All right. Anyways, chat, that's been my time today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed my show today. I'm sorry about the lag with the camera issues and all that stuff, but if you guys heard me